love it. Love it.
Jimmy, this is my world, man. I mean, this is a
I get it.
nonstop thing, man. I mean,
I,
I don't know that I'm gonna get 10 minutes to do this.
well, everybody, this is Sean Bradford. Is now a great friend of mine. We met I don't know, a couple months ago. Ramsey's down in what city in Louisiana?
So we're in what is called Metairie, Louisiana,
Okay.
and we're basically a 2-minute drive to the city of New Orleans line. So,
Okay. All right.
but in order to get to downtown New Orleans, you're literally like a 10-minute ride from here. So it's very, very close.
All right, so you guys are hotbed. We're going to call you a hotbed, right? Or a hot spot in the United States for the COVID-19 thing. And Sean, you opened my brain up a couple months ago. We talked about having this chat with store owners, and so we've been enjoying that for the last few months, and it's been really enlightening. But also, what it's done for me is it's allowed me to. I've been looking for a way that we could take jewelry store training to another level, and it's the obvious thing that came to me in all of this was to start being inclusive of everybody. Have a little less of Jimmy DeGroat on screen, have more of a community, right? And sharing stories. And so everybody, that's kind of how Sean ended up being here. He called me, and we just found that we were thinking on the same levels. And so I said, hey, we need to talk more often. So, and anyway, so that's kind of my dream, is to bring more of you guys to everybody else, because we love community and sharing stories. So, but Sean, you had a really neat story that you shared with us, and if you could just tell it to us again. I'm gonna get my Kleenex. Hold on. It's a great story.
This story, if I can't get through the whole thing, I will get through the whole thing, but it just may take a little time. But so my mother suffered from ovarian cancer for 2.5 years, and we kind of knew her last days were right among us. And so I was doing everything that I could, being there for her and wanting to just share every moment. So I was basically at her house, morning, noon, and night kind of thing. Our store owners here were gracious enough to give me that time, which is something that I've cherished. And so I was basically, helping her, get from the bed area to the bathroom, and then back from the bathroom to the bed area. And so it was late one night. It was probably about 1:30 in the morning, something in that area. And I'm helping her get from the bathroom back to her bed. And she's got this, tight little walkway. And so I'm, kind of leading her. I got to hold her hand just to make sure she doesn't fall or anything. So I'm kind of going in front of her a little bit. And as I'm walking in front of her, she stops and she starts walking to this big chest of drawer she has, where she had this big, beautiful arrangement of roses that, one of our owners actually sent over to her. And she gets up on her tippy toes, and she's struggling to get, and she kind of bends one of the flowers down, and she takes this big breath in of this beautiful rose. And I said, Mom, what are you doing? And she looks at me dead in my face, and she says, Sean, I can still stop to smell the roses. And I looked at her, and I laughed, and I said, you're still teaching me lessons. At 77 years old, you're still teaching me to stop and smell the roses. And for me, I didn't equate it to just, the cliche of stop and smelling the roses. I equated it to, stop when I have a customer and listen to their story more intently and focus on them, because that's what this is all about. And my mom, even the last couple of days, she was like, go back to work, I'm fine. Go back to work, I'm fine. Because she knew that I relish in listening to customer stories and to hearing what they have to say and to absorb it. Because you know what? This is a feel-good industry. And I don't know about you, but I go home and I feel pretty doggone good listening to Joe Smith get engaged, or his story, or whatever the
Yeah.
case may be, it feels good. And she, she literally passed literally 2 days after that. And it was really something that just stuck out to me because it was how she was.
Hmm. Yeah. In a lot, maybe we'll hear it in church, or maybe we'll hear it from somebody on TV. But we always hear the phrase, "You don't know who you're affecting, or you don't know how you're really affecting those people." And I guess that's kind of been my wish and dream for everybody on this program and everybody in the retail jewelry business, that we really don't know who we are affecting every single day just by the little things that we do. And uh, what a beautiful story. to, you know, and I often wonder, I've been told recently, think more heavenly and eternal as opposed to the here and now, or as opposed to the problems you've got today. And I think if we just kind of take that approach of love with every customer, we don't know what they're going through. We don't know, how, we don't know if mom just died and these diamonds are from her, her ring. And it's how we approach all that. So I'm rambling, but man, do you have any other wonderful stories like that, or just lives that you guys have touched lately?
I get so many people. I posted it on my mother's Facebook page, saying that it was me and that she passed, and literally there was 80 people who just jumped on Facebook and said, "Oh my gosh, your mother just touched me in this way," and blah blah blah. And her smile. Everybody talks about her smile, and for somebody to touch that many people, um, and they all say the same thing. It was her smile that would just light up a room, and it was whenever she smiled, I had to smile back because it just made me feel so good. I'll give you another story that on how she just touched somebody's life just in passing. I was picking her up from a chemotherapy. This was a couple months ago. I was picking her up in the valet, so she comes walking out, and I'm watching her walk, and she's just it got this biggest smile on her face. And this is after she's been in chemotherapy for the past 4 hours. And then we all know what chemotherapy does, but she was just walking with this huge smile on her face. And I was amazed because she just didn't care about what else was happening. She was just in the moment, enjoying life at that moment. And they had this little person who's doing the valet. It was a nice lady, and she was sitting there, and she didn't have a smile on her face. She just looked like she was just there, right? She just
Yep.
looked kind of stoic. She didn't have much facial expression. My mother, once again, right after her chemotherapy, walks up to this lady. I have no idea what she said, but she really took literally probably about a minute and went over and touched this lady on the shoulder, which I know we can't do that these days, but this was when we could do all that fun stuff. Touched her on her shoulder and told her something, right?
Right. Right.
And this lady lit up like a Christmas tree. The smile was as big as my mom's smile. My mom got a kick out of it. She walked to the car and with a big old grin on her face. And she opened up the door, and I'm like, "Mom, what did you tell her?" And she's like, "Oh, I can't tell you that." She wouldn't tell
Awesome.
me. She wouldn't tell me what she told her. But my mom looked like she just ate the canary, right? I mean, it looks like
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
she just she just ate the bird. She looked like a cat that just ate the bird, and she's all grin from ear to ear.
Sure.
To this day, I don't know what she said. She had never shared that with me, but I guarantee you it was something just remarkable and amazing, like she was.
Well, you've been in retail now. Well, you've been at Ramsey's almost 20 years, haven't you?
Yeah, yeah, just about 20 years now, and started off. Basically, I started off with an application in my hand, walking into a place of business as a
Yep.
referral, and they just to tell you
There you
my
go.
story, they basically I got sent on to go get more sales experience because I didn't have much sales experience, and that's what I did. I took the director of sales advice, and I went and got some sales experience, and
Right.
it took about a year and a half, and I came back. And when I came back, the director of sales looked. He was like, "Wow, nobody's ever done this before." So
Nobody's ever done what we've told them to do.
nobody's ever done what they told me to do. So Jimmy, I do a lot of my training based on stories that I have gone through
Yeah,
with sales. So
right.
yeah, I've got a training little book that we go through with all salespeople. So
Good.
yeah, I wouldn't have any problem sharing that with people. But you know, it's can't give away too many of my secrets there, Jimmy.
Well, and that's sort of what plagues this industry is the you know, we don't want to share too much, right? We've got some golden eggs, we've got some gems in our hands, and we don't want to be too open about it. But the thing about the jewelry store training program is everybody's far enough apart that
Right.
nobody's in the same market. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
try to keep it that
You
way.
know, there's this old cliche, a salesperson is born, you know, and I think that's just the bunch of BS because
It is.
I think that you can mold somebody and how you want them, but you
Oh,
have to have a willing participant. If you don't have a willing participant, you got no shot. So, but I truly believe it, and I think that that we've done a good job here in making people and getting them the most out of people.